Hi, I'm Joy Plain, a clinical social worker here at the Baton Rouge Behavioral Clinic in the Addiction Recovery Services Department. Opioid addiction is a medical condition that affects a person's brain and behaviors. The way that we kind of diagnose the disorder is we look at the behaviors, which are usually a symptom of the disorder. So when a person is using despite consequences that could come from the abuse, or their compulsive use of the drug. So, they start to use more than what they intended to use, or they use despite not wanting to use and not being able to overcome the intense cravings. There are very specific signs of a developing opioid abuse that will most likely lead to addiction and dependence. And some of those things are, as we know, the onset of the dependence or the abuse oftentimes starts with a prescription from a, medical doctor. And at some point that prescription may run out and there's no medical need for the prescription anymore. And so that person may go and seek the drug from either someone else who has the prescription for themselves, or they'll buy it off of the street. So that's one of the main things that kind of give us an idea of there's a developing abuse or addiction. Another is mood swings, intense cravings to use the drug, issues with family and relationships, neglecting like work responsibilities, or discontinuing like important events for family or work, discontinuing recreational activities that did not involve drug use, and lastly, or equally important, legal issues. When you start to get, possession charges, or any type of drug charges, or even any other type of charge that's a direct result of your addiction. Symptoms of an overdose would be like unconsciousness, small pupils, shallow breathing, because opioids do affect the parts of the brain that regulate the lungs, and sometimes convulsions as well. If you are in a situation where someone has overdosed, what you can do is first lay the person on the side, and there is a medication that can reverse the effects of opioids called Narcan, and you can administer that to at least, get the person back to consciousness so that they can receive further medical treatment, and always call 911 so that they can be transported to get immediate medical attention and transport to the local or nearest emergency room. Opioid treatment is very much treatable. Of course, the initial and crisis intervention would be the administration of the Narcan and reporting to your nearest emergency room, followed by maybe a detox treatment where you're being detoxed off of the drug and also treated for withdrawal symptoms. And then you can do a 28-day inpatient treatment, which is like a well-rounded, all-day, very intensive mental health and substance abuse treatment engagement. Outpatient treatment would then include several weeks of individual therapy, group therapy, as well as follow up with like your healthcare provider, or establishing care with the healthcare provider, and also establishing care with the mental health provider if that's needed. Outpatient treatment can also include withdrawal management and craving management with the medication Suboxone. This medication helps to control cravings, and so it reduces the risk of relapse due to cravings or the impulses to use. It also has a ceiling cap, and it blocks the receptors. So with the Suboxone, it's very controlled. You know how much you're taking. You know that it's not going to produce this euphoric feeling for the person who's taking it. And lastly, you would want to follow up with a community support system, whether that be with a faith-based organization or with Al-Anon for your supporters, and NA and AA, Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. And you also want to include your family or your primary support system in your treatment, so that when you are not engaged in treatment, you have peers and supporters around you who support you in your treatment, and they make the necessary lifestyle changes that are necessary to help you to continue to make those lifestyle changes. If you or someone you know is struggling with opioid abuse or dependence, you can call 225-925-1906 or visit realhelpbr.com for more information.